Hello and welcome to theory course of GIS and remote sensing KOE 066. In this lecture we will be discussing about electromagnetic spectrum. So the contents for this lecture will be electromagnetic radiations, electromagnetic spectrum, Stephen-Boltzmann law and Wien's displacement law. So we know what is the technique of remote sensing. So we are employing electromagnetic radiations for performing this technique. So depending upon the source, either we are using some active remote sensing techniques or we are using some passive remote sensing technique. But the point is that we require electromagnetic radiations. So just to understand that what is electromagnetic radiations, what is electromagnetic energy, and what are the different type of bands, or we can say what is the variety of wavelength that are available within one electromagnetic radiations. This lecture will be more focused towards knowing what is electromagnetic energy, what are electromagnetic radiations, what is electromagnetic spectrum. So these kinds of terms, or we can say the operations that are involved with respect to and with close contact to electromagnetic energy. So what is electromagnetic energy? So basically it is a combination of electric and magnetic fields. So we can see in this figure that there is a representation of electromagnetic wave, so showing that there are electric fields in one phase and magnetic fields in another phase. So both of these fields are at orthogonal directions, or we can say that perpendicular to each other. So how it is represented, or how it is what is electromagnetic energy is in representation. So it is a combination of electric and magnetic fields which are mutually perpendicular to each other. Okay, and what is this travel speed? So obviously it travels with the speed of light, that is 3 into 10 to power 8 meter per second. So you can have some view here that there are two fields. So here by the green color we have shown electric field, and by the blue color we have shown magnetic fields, and you can see that these wavelength, this is the wavelength of these waves. So both of these fields are at orthogonal directions or at 90-degree directions to each other. So what is basically radiation? So electromagnetic radiation is obtained from billions of vibrating electrons, atoms and molecules which emit electromagnetic radiations in a unique combination of wavelengths. So there may be some process that is going on with some molecules, atoms or electrons. So some energy is released, some kind of energy is released, and that energy is released in the form of some radiations or waves that is called as electromagnetic radiations. So that energy which is being released, that energy is having two types of components, that is having electrical field also, that is having magnetic field also. So that is a combination of electrical as well as magnetic field. So electric field and magnetic field in combined with each other, this type of radiations are being radiated from some operations which is happening with molecules or atoms. So that is known as electromagnetic radiations. So all the objects above minus 273 degree Celsius or 0 degree Kelvin. So we will know the conversion between Kelvin scale and Celsius scale. So it reflects, emits and absorbs electromagnetic radiations. And obviously the amount of electromagnetic radiation will depend upon the temperature of object. Okay. What is electromagnetic spectrum? So we know that these electrons, or we can say molecules or atoms, based upon some nuclear process, these objects are radiating some energy. So that energy is in forms of electromagnetic radiations. So there is a certain, we can say that there are several wavelengths associated in a particular type of radiation. So we cannot say that this is electromagnetic spectrum of particular wavelength. So there is variety of wavelengths that are being emitted. So what we have done, we have just divided one electromagnetic wave depending upon its different type of wavelength. So we have created one whole of the spectrum, or we can say we have created one band in which several bands are there having wavelengths from for particular interval to particular interval having some same type of features. So what is electromagnetic spectrum? So it is basically distribution of continuum of radiant energy. So continuum means a collection, or we can say that a sum total of energy that is being distributed in the that can be in the form of energy packets or also, that is not our part of discussion. So we are more concerned about that what is electromagnetic spectrum. So basically it is distribution of continuum of radiant energy So what is radiant energy? That's radiated electromagnetic radiations. So which is plotted as a function of wavelength, and it is known as electromagnetic radiation spectrum. So basically, this is what we are talking about. So we are talking about electromagnetic spectrum. So this is a band in which classification is being done depending upon the wavelength. So we have initially we can say that we have gamma rays at the starting. So we have plotted the scale based upon the wavelength. So the lesser the wavelength, the initial will be placed on the electromagnetic spectrum. So gamma rays having the least wavelength. Okay, then after gamma rays we are having X rays. Then after X rays we are having some ultraviolet rays. So after the ultraviolet rays we come up to visible band or visible light. So again in the visible light we can classify as VIBGYOR. So violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange, red. So again we can have a variety of wavelength here. Then after the visible region we have near infrared band. So then after near infrared we have thermal infrared band. Then after thermal infrared we have microwave band. And after microwave band we have radio band. So basically, what is the scale on which these different kinds of wavelengths are classified? So we have classified on the basis of on their wavelengths. Okay, so here at the beginning, at there the wavelength is least, and as we move to the right side on this band, the wavelength keep on increasing. So the highest wavelengths are from radio waves, and the least wavelengths are from gamma rays. Okay, so we have seen that there is gamma rays, there are X-rays, there are UV rays, ultraviolet rays, there is visible region, there is near infrared region, there is thermal infrared region, there is microwaves and radio waves. So this is a total, we can say that total electromagnetic spectrum that is being generated and that is being radiated from the sun. So this whole of the band is coming towards Earth. Okay, this whole band is coming towards Earth, but there is one thing present between the surface of Earth and the solar system, or we can say the space. So there, that is atmosphere of Earth. So atmosphere of Earth has many kind of constituents. Okay, and those constituents perform some selective operations with this electromagnetic spectrum. So that atmosphere of Earth, the atmosphere of Earth, it does not allow whole of this electromagnetic spectrum or whole of these electromagnetic bands, all of these bands to surpass the atmosphere and reach the surface of Earth. Okay, so the radiations like gamma rays and X-rays and majority of ultraviolet rays, this region is almost completely absorbed by the atmosphere of Earth. So gamma rays, X-rays, and majority of ultraviolet rays, we can say shorter wavelengths of ultraviolet rays, all of these are totally absorbed by the atmosphere of Earth, and it is good for us also because these are having some bad effects on the health of all the living beings on Earth also. So this band from gamma rays, X-rays, and majority of shorter wavelengths of ultraviolet rays, this is not available because it is not reaching to the surface of Earth. It is either getting scattered or it is getting absorbed by the atmosphere of Earth. This band, this shorter wavelength band, is not available for remote sensing because it is not reaching the surface of Earth. So some portion of ultraviolet rays, which we call as photographic ultraviolet waves, so that some little portion of larger wavelength of ultraviolet band is reaching to the that is called as photo UV band, and this visible band is completely reaching to the surface of Earth. So this is that band, this is that region in which we humans are able to see and perceive objects. Then near infrared band is also reaching to the surface of Earth. Then we can see that there is some huge amount of wavelengths that we can see in the power of 10. There are large number of wavelengths, but it is not so that all of these wavelengths are still reaching to the surface of Earth. So the atmosphere of Earth is again interacting with all these wavelengths, and it is allowing only selective passage of these radiations. Okay, so whole of those band is not getting transferred. So there are some special, we can say that there is some special name to that process, that is atmospheric window. So those atmospheric window, what is called as atmospheric window. So those we can say that those radiations which are able to penetrate through the atmosphere of Earth, and finally those radiations which can reach to the surface of Earth, so those are called as atmospheric window. So there is selective passage allowed by the atmosphere of Earth. So whole of this band will not reach the surface of Earth. Some portion of ultraviolet and visible region in addition will be reaching, some portion of near infrared, some portion of thermal infrared, some portions of microwave and radio waves will be reaching. Whole of the band will be not be reaching to the surface of Earth. So we will see what we have discussed now. So we have seen that there is gamma rays having a wavelength in this order 3 to 10 to the power minus 5. So these are not available for remote sensing. Why? Because these are not getting transferred to the Earth surface. So Earth surface is either it is absorbing these radiations or it is scattering these or reflecting back these radiations. So generally it is absorbing these radiations, so it is not available for remote sensing. Similarly, for X-rays also it is not available for remote sensing. It is also absorbed for the atmosphere. So we can say that gamma rays and X-rays, this is totally eliminated from the process of remote sensing. When we talk about ultraviolet rays, so wavelength less than 0.3 micrometer absorbed by the ozone layer. So which is the constituent that is absorbing this? That is ozone. So wavelength less than 0.3. So you know what is the band of ultraviolet rays? It is from 0.03 to 0.4 micrometer. Okay. So from 0.03 to 0.3, that majority of that ultraviolet band is absorbed by the atmosphere. So remaining is from 0.3 to 0.4 micrometer. So that 0.3 to 0.4 micrometer, that band is only available. Okay, that is called as photographic band, and that is able to penetrate, or we can say transmit, through the atmosphere of Earth. That is called as photographic UV band. Then coming to visible lesion. So visible lesion, we have wavelengths from 0.4 to 0.7. So these are available. These are detectable also. We humans are able to see in this region only. Then coming to infrared region. So infrared region is having a large variety of wavelengths from 0.7 micrometer to 100 micrometers. So in this huge amount of band, it is not so that this whole band will be transmitted. Certain certain wavelengths will be allowed to transmit. So those certain wavelengths are called as atmospheric windows. So there is selective transmissibility of these electromagnetic radiations. So there are some atmospheric windows exist which allow maximum transmission through them. So portion between 0.7 to 0.9 is called photographic infrared band. Okay, so there are some atmospheric windows in which transmission is only allowed. Similarly, in microwave regions, that is from 10 to the power 3 to 10 to the power 6 micrometers, so it is having higher wavelengths, so it can penetrate through most of the obstructions, like it can penetrate rain, it can penetrate fog and clouds. So that is why it founds its applications in majority of remote sensing techniques, in majority of applications. Okay, because it is, we have seen that radars work on these principles. Okay, so radar use microwave remote sensing. So both active and passive remote sensing is possible by using microwave remote sensing. Also, radio waves, these are having wavelengths greater than 10 to the power 6 micrometers. So these are having the longest wavelength. So these are also used for remote sensing. Now, energy source and radiation principle. So we know that what is energy source. So that source that is able to transmit, or we can say generate electromagnetic radiation. So depending upon the technique, if we are using some natural sources like sun, so we are performing passive remote sensing technique. So now if you want to estimate the total quantity of energy, or we can say the total radiance that is being emitted by radiation, so we are having some laws. So by help of which we can estimate the amount of energy, or we can say the total radiance that will be emitted by a material. So we have one law that is called as Stephen-Boltzmann law. So that gives us a relation that m is equals to sigma to t to the power 4. So where m is total radiant existence of the material and watts per meter square, sigma is Stephen-Boltzmann constant, and t is the temperature. So we can estimate the total amount of radiance that is available from a wavelength. Now, there is a concept of black body. So basically, what is a black body? So it is a hypothetical concept. It is an ideal radiator. So basically, a body that ideally absorbs all the radiant energy that is incident on it, and it then radiates all those energy which have been absorbed. That is called as a black body radiation. So why are we discussing black body radiation here? Because we are having some objects, those are present on the surface of Earth. So how does those objects behave? So those objects, basically those radiations are coming, or we can say that interacting with those objects. So those objects are we can say that they are behaving somewhat like a black body. They are trying to absorb those radiations, they are trying to emit those radiations. So there is a concept that is similar to, but ideally there is it is a hypothetical concept. No body can be a perfect black body. So we can see from this chart also. So this shows that for a particular fixed spectral emittance, for a particular value of spectral emittance, for a particular value of wavelength, if you increase the temperature, so with increase in temperature, you can see that what will happen. That that for a particular wavelength, so with increases in radiation, we can see that spectral radiance is increased. Okay, so for a particular wavelength with increase in temperature, we can see that the radiance is increased. Similarly, if you want to calculate the wavelength, so let's take an example that there is one radiant band. So electromagnetic radiations are getting reflected by striking on a target, and those are reaching back to the sensors. So what is happening? What is happening is that those radiations are getting back to the sensor. So if you want to calculate what is the maximum wavelength in that particular radiated back band, so we can use Wien's displacement law that says that delta max will be B by T. So delta max will be that maximum wavelength of emitted energy, and here B is Wien's displacement constant and T is temperatures in Kelvin. Okay, so by using this law we can calculate the maximum displacement of that radiated electromagnetic radiations. So this was all. We have seen that what is electromagnetic energy and what is electromagnetic spectrum and what are the different bands which are available for performing remote sensing, and what are the different laws by which we can calculate the amount of total radiance, as well as we can calculate the maximum wavelength for a particular band of we can say that radiated electromagnetic radiation. Thank you.